Today, we embark on a detailed exploration into the possibility of a creature reminiscent of Godzilla existing in the real world. This script is crafted for an audience with advanced knowledge, and it explores technical insights that range from biological constraints to the physics of gigantic organisms. Our discussion will combine deep scientific inquiry with historical context and cultural significance, offering robust, number-driven and fact-supported analysis on whether a Godzilla-like entity could hypothetically emerge given known natural laws. We will examine evolutionary pressures, genetic mutations, and environmental catalysts that have historically contributed to the emergence of megafauna, while juxtaposing these factors against the extreme requirements of a hypothetical giant reptilian organism. Our analysis delves into the minutiae of cellular regeneration, the limitations imposed by biomechanics, and the structural challenges that would confront any organism of such unprecedented scale. In this exploration, we present evidence from computational simulations, geophysical studies, and biomechanical experiments that illustrate the dramatic gap between cinematic exaggeration and biological feasibility. By approaching the subject with academic rigor while maintaining a relaxed and friendly tone, we aim to foster engaging yet precise scientific discourse. This introductory segment sets the stage for an interdisciplinary discussion that challenges established notions and invites expert scrutiny. Expect to encounter rigorous analysis of fossil records, biomechanical scaling laws, and thermodynamic constraints as we critically evaluate the structural and physiological impossibilities of a real-world king of the monsters. In the following sections, we will dissect historical narratives, analyze the evolution of cinematic depictions, and scrutinize scientific data to reveal how far current science stands from accommodating such colossal biological legends. The origins of Godzilla trace back to post-war Japan, where cinematic storytelling merged with national trauma to create a symbol of both destruction and rebirth. Initially conceived as a metaphor for nuclear devastation, Godzilla has evolved dramatically through decades, adapting narratives that resonate with changing societal fears and aspirations. Early films portrayed Godzilla as an unstoppable force, awakened by the scars of nuclear testing and conflict, striking a chord in a nation still grappling with its past. Over time, cinematic and literary portrayals began to explore more nuanced dimensions of the creature, expanding its role from a simple antagonist to an ambiguous entity embodying both menace and protection. As filmmaking techniques advanced, variations of Godzilla emerged across multiple genres and cultural commentaries, with each iteration adapting to reflect prevailing concerns of the era. European and American reinterpretations introduced narratives where Godzilla evolved from being solely a force of destruction to also embodying nature's counter-response to human-induced environmental damage. In some adaptations, the monster's origin was reimagined as a consequence of genetic mutations driven by climate change and pollutants, thereby intertwining scientific hypotheses with narrative art. Advancements in special effects and computer graphics further allowed filmmakers to integrate pseudo-scientific explanations, incorporating references to structural integrity calculations, stress tests, and evolutionary theories. Archival records and behind-the-scenes documentaries provide invaluable insights into how historical events, such as nuclear incidents and environmental disasters, have informed these creative reinterpretations. Godzilla is typically depicted as an enormous reptilian creature measuring anywhere from 50 to over 100 meters in length, its massive stature supported by a robust skeletal structure that defies conventional biomechanical principles. Its skin, often shown as a fusion of rugged scales and plate-like armor, serves not only as protection against physical impacts, but also as a defensive mechanism against high-energy weaponry. Advanced theoretical models suggest that if a creature of such size were to exist, its internal support structure would require an extraordinary composite of bioceramic and chitinous materials to effectively dissipate stress and strain. In cinematic lore, Godzilla is endowed with a unique atomic breath, a devastating radiation-based energy beam that can incinerate adversaries and alter the environment. Scientific analysis of such an ability raises compelling questions about the feasibility of biological energy generation and emission on this scale. For a living organism to harness and emit concentrated energy capable of causing extreme thermal damage, an intricate system of energy storage, conversion, and controlled discharge would be imperative, possibly involving bioluminescent compounds and quantum-level reactions. Moreover, Godzilla's apparent regenerative capabilities observed through rapid healing processes in various films imply a highly efficient cellular repair mechanism that far surpasses any known vertebrate physiology. The creature's immense size imposes significant physical constraints, as dictated by the square-cube law, which states that as an organism's dimensions increase, its volume, and therefore its weight, increases faster than the strength of its supporting structures. Detailed biomechanical simulations have attempted to reconcile these challenges by proposing enhancements such as specialized tendon materials and adaptive bone architectures that would theoretically allow support for monumental masses. Iconic cinematic battles have consistently demonstrated Godzilla's extraordinary durability, as the creature withstood impacts from modern military ordnance and natural calamities with minimal impairment. This remarkable resilience is attributed to an evolutionary adaptation that maximizes cellular regeneration and fortifies tissue integrity against extreme external forces. By intertwining these exceptional traits, massive size, potent energy emission, and rapid healing, Godzilla serves as a fascinating case study that challenges established paradigms of vertebrate physiology. In essence, although Godzilla remains firmly rooted in the realm of fiction, its meticulously crafted characteristics offer a platform for serious discussion on the theoretical limits of biological structures and energy dynamics. Each of these attributes is examined in detail using a variety of measurement techniques, from cellular imaging to finite element analysis, underscoring the gap between fantastical portrayal and natural possibility. Furthermore, detailed expositions in scientific literature have analyzed the thermodynamic efficiency of hypothetical energy organs, speculating that a synergy between specialized mitochondria-like structures and endogenous radioactive elements might theoretically account for the energy output depicted. In light of these analyses, Godzilla's design is not simply an artistic exaggeration, but rather a composite of biological innovations that push the boundaries of what is conventionally deemed feasible in living systems. These discussions not only highlight the fascinating interplay between art and science, but also encourage forward-thinking research into the development of bio-inspired materials and energy control systems. Ultimately, Godzilla's traits inspire inquiry. The question of whether a creature analogous to Godzilla could exist is best approached from a multidisciplinary standpoint, integrating insights from evolutionary biology, physics, and ecology. Contemporary biological research indicates that the constraints imposed by metabolic rates and cell replication impose an upper limit on the size of vertebrates, and any organism approaching the scale of Godzilla would require revolutionary adaptations beyond current evolutionary trajectories. Studies of gigantism in the fossil record reveal that even the largest dinosaurs operated near the threshold of their biomechanical limits, with specialized cardiovascular and respiratory systems that barely sufficed to sustain their massive bodies. From a physics perspective, the square-cube law presents a formidable barrier. As an organism scales up, its weight increases cubically, whereas the strength of its supporting tissues increases only quadratically. This means that for a creature to reach Godzilla-like proportions, its bone density, muscle composition, and connective tissues would need to be augmented by factors not observed in any extant animal. Moreover, the gravitational force on Earth imposes limits on size that would necessitate either a radically different biochemistry or gravitational conditions unlike those on our planet. Ecological dynamics further complicate matters, as a creature of such immense size would demand an enormous energy influx to sustain its metabolism. Its food requirements would disrupt existing trophic structures and could precipitate catastrophic imbalances in local ecosystems. Recent ecological models indicate that even today's megafauna occupy highly specialized niches, and a Godzilla-scale organism would require a completely new ecological framework with nearly unlimited resources. The concept of mutation and evolutionary leaps is often invoked in speculative discussions about Godzilla's origins. Yet theoretical work in evolutionary developmental biology suggests that the gradual nature of genetic change makes such leaps extraordinarily unlikely. Even with possibilities such as exogenous mutagens or advanced genetic engineering, the coordinated alteration of countless genes and cellular processes required for such gargantuan growth remains beyond the realm of current scientific capability. Precise computational models and biomechanical simulations consistently reveal that the energy demands, structural stresses, and thermodynamic inefficiencies associated with an organism of this magnitude are insurmountable under Earth-like conditions. Additional perspectives from quantum biology and bioenergetics research offer little optimism regarding the feasibility of a Godzilla-like creature, as the fundamental principles governing energy conversion in living cells impose strict limits. While the public is captivated by towering monsters and cinematic spectacles, systematic scientific scrutiny invariably positions such beings within the realm of theoretical impossibility. In conclusion, the confluence of biological, physical, and ecological constraints suggests that without a fundamental rewriting of natural laws or the influence of extraterrestrial conditions, the existence of a real-world Godzilla remains a fascinating, yet unfeasible concept. Extensive interdisciplinary studies have attempted to simulate extreme scenarios in which environmental pressures, such as hyperthermal climates or radically altered atmospheric compositions, might permit the evolution of exceptionally large organisms. However, even these contrived models fail to overcome the insurmountable thermodynamic costs and resource allocation issues that arise at scales vastly exceeding those found in Earth's history. Furthermore, without access to an inexhaustible supply of raw materials and energy, any biological system would quickly collapse under the inefficiencies incurred at such monumental sizes. Emerging fields such as synthetic biology and bioengineering continue to push the boundaries of what is achievable. Yet even these innovative disciplines have not demonstrated any pathway towards replicating the physical enormity and energy dynamics of a creature like Godzilla. Thus, while the allure of such a colossal beast endures in popular culture, rigorous scientific evaluation affirms that the emergence of a real-life Godzilla remains implausible given our current understanding of the natural world. Absolutely. A creature of Godzilla's proportions would have profound environmental repercussions that extend far beyond the immediate vicinity of its path. Urban infrastructures, agricultural lands, and natural habitats would all be subject to severe disruptions. The massive physical footprint of such an organism would necessitate reconsideration of modern land use planning, disaster preparedness, and ecological conservation strategies. Detailed studies suggest that the displacement of ecosystems could trigger a cascade of effects, not only in local fauna and flora, but also in global climate patterns. The ecological balance, finely tuned over millennia, would be irreparably disturbed by the introduction of a super predator or apex being of this scale. Predatory pressures on existing species would shift dramatically, potentially leading to extinction events and the collapse of established food webs. Societally, the presence of a real-life Godzilla would provoke unprecedented economic, ethical, and logistical challenges that span local communities and extend to the global stage. Governments, urban planners, and emergency management agencies would be compelled to devise comprehensive strategies to mitigate risks and coordinate responses, often necessitating international collaboration. In order to address these challenges, researchers and policymakers are exploring innovative solutions that include advanced modeling of disaster scenarios, the integration of resilient infrastructural designs, and the development of coordinated international response frameworks. These efforts represent a crucial step towards mitigating the catastrophic potential of such an extraordinary organism, if it were ever to materialize, emphasizing the need for proactive planning and sustainable environmental stewardship. Godzilla has transcended its origins as a mere movie monster to become an enduring cultural icon whose influence permeates multiple aspects of global popular culture. The character is celebrated not only in films, comics, and video games, but also in art installations, literature, and academic discourse. Its presence has sparked debates in scientific circles as well as in community forums about humanity's relationship with nature, technology, and existential threats. In various cultural reinterpretations, Godzilla embodies the anxieties of modern society, reflecting themes such as the dangers of nuclear warfare, environmental degradation, and unchecked technological advancement. Its narrative has evolved over decades, adapting to shifts in social, political, and economic climates, and thus continues to resonate with audiences around the world. Furthermore, Godzilla's influence extends into the realm of social commentary, where the monster serves as a metaphor for unpredictable natural disasters and the consequences of human hubris. Analysts note that its colossal presence challenges conventional narratives, inspiring interdisciplinary research that spans media studies, environmental science, and urban planning. By blending entertainment with incisive social critique, Godzilla has not only entertained millions, but also served as an enduring catalyst for discussions about responsibility, resilience, and the future trajectory of global societies. This cultural phenomenon continues to evolve, reflecting shifts in societal values and inspiring creative reinterpretations across generations. Godzilla remains an everlasting emblem of modern mythos. In conclusion, our exploration has revealed that while Godzilla remains an enthralling symbol in cinema and culture, the scientific, environmental, and societal constraints firmly place such a creature in the realm of imagination. The